This is the location where you actually pick up stuff for the Lanterns in the Mist event. We're in the Hall of Heroes. We're at the end, kind of past the VIP, and around the game in Eberron and Sharn, you'll see these lanterns. You can click them, and I'm pretty sure they take you here. In order to see these two NPCs, you have to run the first quest for the Lanterns in the Mist, Curse of the Five Fangs. So that's the introductory quest. You have to run that in order to see these NPCs. In order to pick up your lantern, that's what you're going to do. But once you do that quest, that introductory quest, it's a solo quest. You can't do it with other people. You can run it by yourself. You will then be able to interact with these two NPCs, and this is the hardcore variant. This is the story mode or easy mode, whatever you want to call it. This is Trammel, this is Felucia, whatever you want to call them, right? So the lanterns are identical, right? So I won't be able to interact with the hardcore one because I'm not level 1. You have to be level 1, rank 1. You don't have to be rank 1 to interact with this person, but you have to be level 1. I'm almost positive it's going to tell me that if I say I want a lantern, it's going to say, no, I can't. Yeah, so you must be level 1 to gain any of those. You are too experienced to be accepted. But over here, it's the same idea. If you say I want some lanterns, it's going to give you this list, and you can pick them. It's the identical list on the hardcore guy, except it says Skull Lantern of Pledge, Skull Lantern of Order, Skull Lantern of Shield. Any of the Skull Lanterns, those are the hardcore lanterns. What they equate to is Keeper is the pet. The pet looks like that little lantern there. That's what the pet looks like. The Seeker is the mount. I don't actually want to pick this up. I'm just going over. The Seeker is the mount. The shield is if you want the cosmetic shield. It looks like this dude's shield right here. Like that. That's what the shield looks like. And then the cloak are the other top two here. So the Order and the Pledge are the cloaks. This is like the short cloak that you would get if you hit like level 20 on hardcore. It's just a short cloak, and she's wearing it right there. That's what that looks like. So that's the Pledge. Order is the hard mode cloak, and so you can only get this cloak if you do Reaper. I'm almost positive, even if you get the story mode version, you still have to do Reaper. So we're going to pick this up just so I can show you this. So this is the lantern. This is the story mode lantern, but if we read it, it says this lantern can only be filled on Reaper difficulty. So if you want this long cloak, you have to do Reapers to get it, even if you're doing the story mode version. The difference between the story mode and the hard mode, the hardcore one, is if you're doing the hardcore Skull Lantern, you cannot die at all once. The minute you die, the lanterns are deleted, and then a death note will go out to the server letting everybody know what killed you. But the regular lanterns, like this Lantern of Order, if I was in a Reaper quest and I died, it wouldn't destroy the lantern. I could continue filling it. It would just be inconvenient to die. But it just requires me to do Reaper. Now, I'm not going to save that lantern because I'm not doing it, but wanted to illustrate that they're identical. And the other thing to keep in mind is I believe the cosmetics are identical with the exception of the skull gear having a tiny skull on them, and you can kind of see that skull. That's the hardcore skull. So normal story mode stuff will just have the fleur-de-lis. It won't have the skull in the middle of it. That's the hardcore cloak. If we look at this, that's the story mode cloak, and it does not have a skull. That's literally what the difference is. So, I mean, and I pointed this out on the hardcore server, not the hardcore, pardon me, the test server. From far away, that's really hard to see. So you might not care. I mean, you might say, hey, I like the cloak, but I'm not going to suffer through the hardcore just to get an identical cloak that has a tiny skull that nobody can see from far away unless they ride right up to me and zoom in to examine it, right? Because, I mean, can you guys see? I guess you can kind of see it from far away, but it's not like the cloak is on fire. You know what I mean? Like, I would expect it to be on fire, something that would be very visually evident. It's not. So, like, it just as well depends on what you want. When you do the intro quest, the Curse of the Five Skulls, at the end, you will meet these two and they will talk to you. And then with them is a tiger, a saber-toothed tiger. You can actually pet it. That's the mount, if you're wondering what the mount looks like. So when you do the quest, if you take a second to like pet the tiger and look at it, that's the mount that you're going to be playing for if you like that. I like the saber-toothed tiger. It's cool. The armor on the cat isn't like it's not like I'm like, oh my God, this is the coolest mount ever. But it's decent. It looks good. We're in a cat mount meta in all video games, right? World of Warcraft just released their spectral saber-toothed tiger flying mount. Diablo has a whole bunch of tiger mounts for this new hardcore season, like the season that they're in now, season 6. I don't know why we're in a cat mount meta, but we seem to be. You can join and do the mist event on any character at any time. All you have to do is do the Curse of the Five Fangs introductory quest. You can also do that at any time. You can rerun it, apparently. I might be wrong about when and where you can rerun it, but somebody's saying that you can rerun it. Yeah, so it lets me repeat the Curse of the Five Fangs. I could do that quest right now. Once you have your hardcore lantern, though, you cannot die. So you have to be level 1 to pick the hardcore lanterns up. And if you rerun the quest and you die, like if you equip a hardcore lantern, then you rerun this and the Balrog kills you. So I wouldn't recommend that. You can reincarnate. You can keep your lanterns through reincarnation. The lanterns are not destroyed if you like go to cap and then reincarnate back down to level 1. But what that would allow you to do is pick up, if you died, let's say doing the hardcore lanterns, you could reincarnate, go back down to level 1, and then pick up all the hardcore lanterns again. So probably the biggest difference between this hardcore and a normal hardcore event is there's no penalty box. In other words, like your character is never taken out of the game and forced to sit out, and you don't have to play another character. A death note will go out if you die. Your hardcore lanterns will be destroyed, but you can continue playing normally. All your gear is fine. All your rep is intact. You could do the story mode lanterns on that same character. You don't need to worry about that. When you make your character, most people who start in Korthos, you're going to see the entry. You're going to see this like lantern right there. Like you can enter it right there in Korthos, or you can come to the Hall of Heroes. It just depends on what you're doing, what character you're on. Ball and Chain Garrett, that's in Wayloon. I think there's also apparently an entrance there. Once you complete the quest, the Curse of the Five Fangs, then you will see the NPCs that I'm standing in front of now. If you haven't done the quest, these NPCs won't be here. You'll just see this lantern. You click on the lantern and then you can actually start the quest. You can see it's a solo only quest. You can't select anything else for it. It's always level 1. There is a CR70 Balrog in here though, walking through the woods. It's part of the story. This is basically the Ravenloft universe. It's very, very tough mob. It's a one-shot kill. You cannot let this thing see you. There's locations where you can hide. The thing about hiding in those woods, they provide you with perfect cover visually, but you cannot move because they don't silence you, right? So if you're hiding in the bushes and the shrubs, you have to not move. The other thing too is sometimes that Balrog will walk through the shrubs, and if it walks through like up to you, it will see you and then it'll attack you. So what I have found to get past that Balrog that works is I usually wait for it to like walk off to one side of the map, and then I run around the other side while it's facing away. I've already said this, but you can run it at any level. You just can only pick up the hardcore lanterns at level 1, but you could be level 30 and run this Curse of the Five Fangs quest, and then go and get the story mode lanterns. The lanterns themselves, there's 10 different lanterns, different than the Domain of Dread Ravenloft. It's Ravenloft, but I'm not quite sure how they're fitting it in. You know, I'm not sure how they're working it into our Ravenloft story. Guac is saying poison resist is really helpful. Muad'Dib said even if you die, you can still pick up a new skull lantern if you're still level 1. Yep, that's good to know. So you can die if you're able to go down. The other thing too is if you make an iconic and let Elminster level you up to level 15, you won't be able to get the skull lantern. But you could tell Elminster that you refuse the training and then run at level 1 to the Hall of Heroes or to a lantern, enter, and then you could go in, do the Curse of the Five Fangs quest, come out at level 1, and then when you talk to that NPC, it's going to say, I'm going to delete all your experience, so all the 14 levels of experience would be deleted. You just can't spend the experience. So you have to tell Elminster that you're going to go off and do something else. And then it'll just delete you down to level 1, and then you can play your iconic at level 1, basically. How it works, you get the lantern. You can only have one lantern equipped at a time. It is a cosmetic shield. You can only have one. So even though I have 2 more skull lanterns in my backpack, I'm only filling the one that I have equipped. Every time I do a quest or go into a zone or go anywhere that's not, you know, like running around in public, but like a Slayer zone, you can get a Mistwalker, or in a quest, you can get a Mistwalker. When the Mistwalker spawns, you kill it, and then it will add durability to the lamp. Certain amount based on a few different things. We haven't really figured out exactly what the numbers are, but I believe it's something like you get 3 points for normal, 4 points for hard, 5 points for elite, and then 6 points for Reaper or higher. I think the points go up also based on whether or not you're using an XP elixir, whether you have XP buffs from the ship, whether you're using like Dalera's voice. So those things all help you get extra. And then also there are different types of Mist Stalkers, and some of them are harder. There's orange names, there's red names, and there's a purple name, and they all give varied points. The harder they are, the more points they give you. I don't know how many points the purple name one gives you, but it's supposed to be quite a bit. So you can actually fill these out pretty quick. Generally, you get 1 stalker per quest, people are saying, but sometimes you won't get one at all if it's a quick quest. And then sometimes if you're in a quest that's really long, you may see more than 1. I never have, but people have reported that they've seen 2. The other thing to keep in mind is that the Mist Stalker will also sometimes spawn NPCs. Like it'll bring ads with it, so you may see like 6. But really, there's only 1 stalker. The other things are its ads. So something else that's important to know about the Mist Stalkers when you fight them is that anyone who has a lantern equipped will attract a stalker. If you are in a quest with somebody else and they have a lantern equipped, they will get a stalker. You can attack their stalker can attack you, just because even if you didn't have a lantern equipped, you can still fight it. You can still get killed by it. You would kill it. If you didn't have a lantern equipped, you wouldn't get points on anything. You would just kill the mob. They don't drop a chest or anything like that. But anybody in the vicinity who does have a lantern on, and I think it's 40 meters or something, which is a very big like area for you to be in to get the points. Anybody would get credit. Anybody who is in that area when the Mistwalker dies will get durability added to their lantern, which is good. Mist stalkers appear near random players who have lanterns equipped. Something that you can do to help yourself is, and I have it here, I'll show you. I have it on my bar. I've got 3 charges on this lantern of like it's like a light burst. So when you get the mist debuff, if you click that, I can't click this in a public area, but it would fire off a flare from my lantern that will dispel any of the really bad mist debuffs that you get. Some of them are really bad, like you can't move, you can't see. The other thing it will do is if you fire the lantern off next to a mist stalker, you have a chance to stun it. And I've seen it stun the stalker pretty often. Like, it's not like I fired that thing off and it didn't really work. So if you're fighting one and it's really tough, you technically could just try to do like 3 stuns in a row to keep it chain stunned. It's one of the reasons why like I'm running with a lot of hirelings too, because some of the mist stalkers have been really tough. They cast a lot of high level spells. They do a lot of CC spells too. So like hold person, command. I have not yet seen one do like a finger of death, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. Like they're just nasty. They're they're tough. They do evil damage. They do bane damage. So it's really hard to like mitigate the damage that they do. And I'm almost positive they can spawn anywhere. So if like you're doing a long swim, I would think that you could get one underwater. If you were in the middle of something else, like they spawn at, you know, it's very much similar to like the hounds in the old hardcore where they just spawned on you and they attack you. They don't really care what else you're doing at the time. There is something else that we should talk about, is that some of the stalkers, when you kill them, they will summon this NPC called a Whisper in the Mist. And a Whisper in the Mist is an NPC that allows you to relive a memory of one of the Silithtar, which are the people from this realm. And when you do that, they allow you to earn more durability points for your lantern. So you always want to interact with that thing. If you see a Whisper in the Mist, click on it. It'll tell you a little story, but you'll also get more points. The known Mistwalkers, there's orange, red, and purple. The purple being the mega boss, and it's called the Head of the Beast, and it's a Hydra. I've never seen it personally, but it looks terrifying. It's supposed to grant you a boatload of durability if you get it and kill it, but I would be really nervous about actually fighting it. I haven't seen it myself. There's a lot of red names. There's a Blade Master, there's an Abomination, there's an Oracle. All of these spawn in with ads, and they're usually, the ads are like archers or warriors. Something to keep in mind that the ads can be champions. So if you're in an Elite or Reaper quest, some of these ads can be champs, and some of them can get like the damage boost that normal champs get. So some of them hit really, really hard. You have to be careful, especially if you got like a damage boosted archer who's just like is unloading on you, and then the Oracle hits you with like a hold person or something like that. It's really easy to die, so you have to be careful. The Nagas are also sort of a pain because they do like an evil gaze, like they do like a glare that does like evil damage. Yep, Muad'Dib, thank you for that. Yeah, the ads do not count to fill. It's only the stalker itself. So you have to kill like the stalker to get the points. All the extra ads that you kill are just extra nuisance factor stuff. You really only have to focus on killing the actual walker though. These guardians here that we're working with, these they're part of an order. They're called guardians. They're trying to like gather up the essence of these 5 fangs in order to bring them back to their realm, and then they can open this temple. You actually get to like go to the temple. It's right there where you talk to these NPCs at the end of that quest. There's a door. You can click on the door, or at least you used to be able to, and it tells you can't get in here now. So it makes me wonder if that the end of this event that they might give us like a raid type of a thing where we go in and face whatever the Dark Lord is, and then find out what's going on with that Balrog, and maybe the Balrog will help us because the Balrog is trying to find and kill the Dark Lord.
Where are you going? Hunting for gold that is flowing somewhere in the cold world. There is no knowing. Hey la, oh la la la. We love games. There's a standing stone, let's make camp. We love games. Let's make camp and play more games. Hey la, oh la la, we love games. Where are you going? There's no knowing what magic awaits, what evil is growing. Hey la, oh la la, we love games. We love games. There's a standing stone, let's make camp. We love games. Let's make camp and play more games. Hey la, oh la la, we love games. Where are you going? There's no knowing what magic awaits, what evil is growing. Hey la, oh la la, we love games. Hunting old crypts is folly. Just play games and be jolly. Magical treasures hide in the dark. So race, then embark. We love games. There's a standing stone, let's make camp. We love games. Let's make camp and play more games. Hey la, oh la la, we love games.